my first experience with sales, it really sucked. Now, why did I join sales? Like, why did I thought of even doing sales? For context, I'm just right now doing an internship because to sales. And I would say that the reason I started in sales internship because first of all, you have this whole AI thing going on, AI taking over every other job. And then at the same time, I also thought that if I really good at selling stuff, like like being a business, there's two things. Either you make a great product or you're able to sell or market it really great. Like that's at its core. Like these are the two things. Yeah, there are multiple other things also. But the core is this. You have product service, a great product service, or a great selling or marketing, technique or whatever, like campaign. Or both also. So I thought, what, let's just master the second part, which is let's just try and see whether I can even do it or not, or whether it's something for me. Or I did applied, I think few hundreds of internship, something like that. I guess 100 something, and I got one chance, and I would really say it sucked. Like when you're top pay, if you have no experience, and if you are someone like who is not social, I would say, or I guess extrovert also you could say. If you're not someone who is extrovert, and if you get into sales, oh my god, it's so frightening when you start like randomly dying. Like the thought, like you have to die, just your heartbeat just pumps up or your heartbeat just increases at first, obviously, because I mean you're talking to literally strangers, and you have to convince them to maybe whatever, like buy a perk or join in a meeting, something like that. Like it depends also what you're say, like if you're B2B or if you're cold calling. Like if you do cold calling, then it is tougher for you than compared to warm calling, or I don't know, or warm based whatever. Like if basically if you are selling to someone who doesn't know a thing about you, it is difficult that selling to someone who knows a two or thing or two or three thing about me. At first when I started, it was more like uh, I was very frightened, I would say, because the moment you pick, the moment you call, you get rejected straight to your face. And first, it is a skate about the fact that it is really normal and it will happen. People will reject, people will like say no. After you get over that feeling or that whatever condition or the state of mind that you will get rejected, so no point in sulking over it. Then you can think about okay, now that I know that I may get failed a lot of times, what should I do to increase my chances? That's at least how in fact, I'll still say I'm really a beginner. I'm still learning stuff in all this sales thing. But as far as I know that first you just get used to the feeling of getting rejected. Then you figure out how should I increase my uh, call duration. If let's say you're doing cold calling, then how do you increase the cold duration of your calls? Because if you are getting rejected, to the high time you get like if you get rejected first, then the high chance it is serving 30 seconds something like that. So the question then comes that how will you like within those few seconds grab the person's attention and then figure out their problem, convince them maybe buy product or we join a meeting or whatever your goal is. Then you learn things, then you obviously see if a client got close, why got close, if a client little got close, why little got close. You will figure out the difference and try to improve it every time. Now, as easy as it may sound, at the same time, it is also becomes a bit boring, I would say, a certain part. I don't know, like maybe I'm specific first. I like once you get over that feel of, that yeah, I will get rejected, there it does feel a bit boring because like you just the what is the expected outputs. I guess you could say this. I'm still learning because I think like that. I don't know like about that, but I would still say like if you're someone who really wants to get good at communication skills or who has a hard time talking to strangers, I still say get into sales. Like at least get into do some internship, make it don't go and do it as a career, but do and when I say get into sales, I would say like try to get an internship which you can do multiples of calls and the owner of whatever whoever is the CEO owner of the company or your boss, he's just okay with you getting fake. I would say if you're if you're like getting the sales, get into like get into internship or whatever, like into a I would say they work with someone who is okay with you failing a lot of times. As long as and he's as long as you also putting that for it. And yeah, like I mean that is like I also know sometimes get why people are so like, you know, they are like they are not like how do I say, like I get why people are so afraid of or they reject the idea of getting into sales or learning sales. Even like just let's just talk about learning sales as a skill of me. Because first of all, obviously we have this bad idea, the like the idea of like, you know, say if you do safe, it's a bad or it's not like bad image, something like that. It is it is like what do you say that what associated, yeah, like if you like associate if you will say it is associated it is a bad thing so like that because people in general don't like salesmen and I also have I don't like it because they are sometimes a bit pushy when it comes to selling their stuff and I also and why are they pushy because they have to meet their targets every of the day like that's why they have to sometimes pushy but I would still say that it is a net experience like depends again with who you're working with that also depends. It was a multiple factor, but it is something because like if you think about it, sales is everywhere. It's not just for selling products and services. Like it can be, let's say, if you're in a job interview, you have to like sell your skills or expertise or experiences to get the job. You have to, if you're somewhere, let's say in a networking event, you have to sell yourself to like what are investors or founders or like other people as to why they should work with you, stuff like that. So it does give you that, how do you say that, like the mental framework as to what should you say to, like make sure your thoughts or your ideas are being conveyed proper. Not try to say manipulate people or do something shady or not talking all those stuff. Like generally you want to do it. Like that's an engineer. I mean, in fact, if you are like selling a product or service and you genuinely believe, like it's a whoever you're working with is the founder or whatever, like owner, if he can really move you emotionally about the product or service, like he can, like, like you really believe that whatever you're selling, it truly changes someone's lives. Like it logically you also makes sense that some changes someone and emotionally also you feel like, you know what, if you do this, you are sort of like part of some bigger cause and mission. If someone can like whoever who you are working, if someone, if that person can do that, I think that sales becomes a lot easier. Like, like in if you just go on YouTube or even this what I you go on net, there's so many sales objection and stuff like that. I think those things that it just doesn't matter much. I mean, it does, but at the same time, not much because your intentions are big here. Like you know that this program it will already have someone change their life, and then most of like it just becomes easier. Like how do I say? Like if you experience different sales and if like there are times I know there are times those are says they know that sometimes the product it's just bad. It's just bad. Like they know it's bad, but they are like because that's the job they have to like sell it. Nothing they can't do anything. But if your product really solves problem, Like you really think it solves problems and you truly believe it can help whoever your target customer is. So zero is a lot easier. No doubt about that. As for like, do I think everyone should be in sales? Obviously not. Like no, I don't think not everyone would be able and get into sales. I do think they should have experience, like at least have experience of sales. Because who knows? Like because I didn't like when I got it, it was even it's not doing much. I think it's just 2 3 months. I guess I've been doing this sales thing. I got it with the thought, is let's see, like what is it like? It was just curiosity that got me into this sales thing, and now I'm like, it's not a bad it's not a bad skip, and with you have stuff going on AI and all the stuff where they are just AI is taking each and every other job. I think you dealing with humans is something again not sure. I'm not saying I know how to do just stuff like that, but I think dealing with humans is something which should be a valuable space. Because let's be honest, we all glued to our phones at the end of the day. Same was for me, same was for you. We are glued to our phones. We are just so focused on our phones that we have sometimes hard time communicating in real life also. So I think if you're someone who is able to communicate your thoughts, this is good communications. If you have that, I think it's a valuable thing in a world where everyone is just their heart is just expressing themselves because they're just so glued to they're just so focused on their phones and they have so many less interactions with people. So as for the sales thing, like I I would say if you are introvert and if you think like when if you want to have that confidence of talking to people, I think sales is a weird start and say like at least give it a try. Like I would just give it a try just like I did. Worst case, you feel like what, it's not for me, then just leave it obviously. Nothing wrong with that. But I don't like who knows, maybe it may work for you. And I like how I also see people says that if you know sales and then you also know like say digital marketing, if I just pick that skill, I would say that you are like you have already like it's it's almost like a superpower sort of way. Like if you just then the only thing that comes is you just need to find a good product or a product that really solves a really painful problem for a particular audience. If you then find that, then I think you're good to go there. Like because you know how to then attract or turn in how to get online attraction, which is like getting viewers, let's say getting viewers through Instagram page or YouTube or whatever. And you also know how to turn those viewers into customers. That's where your sales thing comes in. So that's how I see it. Like if like in fact this thought also that didn't came right like with the moment I got into sales. It in fact came after spending time after thinking that how can I move forward with this skill. So again, this is not something like I'm not sure. Maybe few months or maybe maybe few months down the line may also change this thought of mine. I'm still learning, still experiencing new things. And I thought of sharing it, so I shared with you guys. So let me know what you guys think about this.